life.
Okay, hey guys, good to meet you today.
Yeah,
I'm Jeff, and we just want to ask you some worldview questions about how you see life. It's about the past, present, future, and purpose of life. So if we go to the distant past, where do you think the universe came from in the beginning?
Would hit you with the Big Bang, probably.
Okay.
Science would say that. I think there's reasonable evidence to support that as well.
Okay, are you in a science field?
Absolutely, kind of, yes. In physiotherapy, so yes,
Okay.
I should say yes.
So you've taken biology or microbiology, things like that?
Kind of, yeah.
Or will?
Not specifically, but yeah.
Okay. What do you guys think?
I'd agree. Big Bang.
Same.
Same
Okay.
conclusion.
So is there any purpose to the universe, or are we here just by accident?
Definitely by accident, by chance.
Well, you can say it by accident, but purpose is defined by
the subject, right?
Yeah,
It's a
so-
relative thing. It can only really be defined by in relating to something else, right? So that's how I'd see it.
So there's no objective purpose?
I mean,
of the human race, probably not. But every individual can have their own purpose in life.
objective would be sort of defined as something you could measure maybe, or at least present in a way that's indisputable. And the idea, I don't think I've ever come across sort of one objective purpose that could be defined as objective, I suppose, in the universe, in the context of the universe, you could say.
From science.
But
From
that's what objective, at least in my definition of objective, is in the ability to measure things, which is what the whole scientific process is about.
Have you ever loved a girl?
Very personal question right there.
No, you don't have to answer.
No.
Because she might be watching, so you don't want
True,
Exactly.
No, well, I guess, if you're asserting that only science can provide a way to know something's true, in a lot of areas of life, we know things to be true without doing a scientific experiment.
Yeah,
Like
for sure.
morals and ethics would be, science doesn't tell you that what Hitler did was wrong, and yet most people would say what Hitler did was wrong.
Uh-huh.
Sure.
So there's truth that can be determined outside of science. Would you agree with that?
Yes, I guess there's sort of different definitions between truth and objective, I suppose. So objective, if we're looking more at measurable, whereas truth is more possibly something to do with belief, I suppose.
Okay.
So you can believe that the truth is Hitler is wrong, and most people will believe that, but that doesn't necessarily make it measurable, right?
So it has to be measurable in order to be true.
For it to be objective. For it to be objective.
Okay, sorry.
That's the sort of
thank you
distinction I'm making there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, good. It's good to define your terms.
Sure.
Let's go to the next question, and it's about the origin of human beings. What's our origin?
Evolution? What do you mean by origin?
Yeah.
Where do human beings come from ultimately? Because some belief systems say that we were specially created, like Adam and Eve. Others say we're just animals, basically. We're more evolved, but we're basically animals. There's a big difference between those. Where do you guys stand?
Seeded by the Anunnaki.
I would say animals would be my...
Yeah, it depends how you define it.
Yeah.
Animals, sure. Just a general term.
Okay. The next question is, given you would agree there's lots of suffering in our world today, what's the main reason for that? If we peel back the onion, why is there so much suffering?
Selfishness? I don't know. Yeah, well, I don't know.
Solid answer.
Selfishness.
I feel like suffering also has to do with our potential to understand can be overcome. So if you look in the past and the way the Old Testament used to view religion as God is just, sometimes God's angry, sometimes God's happy, he's just going to punish you, right? Whereas today we have more understanding of the world, so we can more understand things that we are able to overcome in some sense, if that makes sense. It's
So are human beings overcoming?
I believe
the
so.
suffering today?
Yes, I believe so. I think that's sort of the march towards progress is making progress on things that are like in the ways of our goals, and then as we develop more understandings, we sort of are able to understand different ways that we're suffering, I suppose. So like I suppose if you like, mental health's kind of a big issue these days, in the sense that like, because we're able to actually understand more about mental health, therefore we're actually understanding the suffering that exists. So you could say, oh, everyone's really depressed these days, it's really sad, but you could also just say, actually everyone's understood that they're depressed and sad, and that they can actually do something about that. And so in that sense, there's more suffering because there's more understanding, I'd say. Yeah.
Okay.
What type of suffering do you mean? Like,
Well, I'm thinking of like in the,
like an individual's like mental anguish, or like,
Physical.
and like famine, world hunger.
any type.
Any type of
there
suffering.
is, yeah. World War.
World
War
War?
I, World War II.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's always going to be conflict, I think, in the world, probably.
Why do you say that?
Human nature, greed, selfishness, except conflict of interest as well. Religion as well starts a lot of them. Different beliefs. But I feel like the majority of the world, I feel like New Zealand anyways, like the general populace is kind of like moving more towards like a,
Utopia.
I would say utopia, so it's difficult to define, but like,
Thanks.
like a nicer,
That's pretty nice in here. Like, you know.
more wholesome worldview. I don't know.
Sure. Yeah, well.
So what is the Kiwi worldview? What like would like could all the world think like Kiwis and then everything would be okay?
Well, not exactly, but Kiwis can, I guess. Like, sure, there's definitely suffering in our communities, and there's like things that are occurring in our communities. But I feel like the general New Zealand, at least, is working towards making things better in the communities. Like,
Would you say the British worldview is, I guess, leads to more human flourishing than some other worldviews? Because every nation has a worldview.
yeah, it has their own worldview.
And New Zealand is heavily influenced by the British worldview, Scottish,
Yeah.
So would you say that, like, if only all the world would be more British in their thinking, the world would be a better place?
Probably not.
sorry.
Probably not, because everybody's entitled to their own.
Well, no, that's a different question. Whether
Yeah, yeah.
everyone's entitled.
It's-
That's
but
not
whether
what
you
we're
think-
saying.
Yeah.
What
Would
we-
you
if
recommend
it was-
that to China, India, Africa?
Morally, no, but
I don't know enough about. I haven't studied enough about like,
Yeah.
their cultures or their understandings or their religions to really be able to have a valuable answer to that, I'd say.
no.
Do you think the Christianity has influenced the foundation of New Zealand?
Probably,
Yes.
yes, definitely.
Why do you say that?
Because it was a very, very popular religion, wasn't it? When
Still
England came over.
Probably
Yeah.
your grandparents.
Yeah, and they
were
built
Christians,
churches everywhere
or went
all
to
over
church
New
at
Zealand.
least.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not sure where's your family from?
I'm from Hong Kong. So.
Hong Kong.
Yeah.
But you are Kiwi.
No, I'm not. I'm
Okay,
from overseas.
Hong
So.
Kong.
Yeah.
So Hong Kong. So that's another different. Do you have a different perspective?
Well,
Hong Kong was a
yeah,
British colony.
used
so
to. So yeah. Well, I don't know how to say. Like, I'm a Christian, so yeah, I would say like it is really important in my life. But yeah, wait, what was the question again? Sorry.
Well, yeah. Just have you seen areas where Hong Kong is different from the rest
Oh,
of China?
yeah.
Because of the influence of the Christian worldview or the British worldview? Or,
Yeah, well-
or a blend.
I
of
would say a
Asian-
blend because you know it's a
Right, true,
really international city, I guess, like Hong Kong. But yeah, it's like a bit of a mix. So which makes it good because you know like a world's a big place and you know there's
Yeah,
like different
diversity.
cultures and stuff. Yeah, exactly. So yeah.
I became a Christian in Hong Kong.
Oh, cool. Oh, that's cool.
Do you know Sai Kung Peninsula?
Yeah.
So that beach there?
Yeah, it's
where I
pretty nice.
became
Yeah,
a
yeah.
Christian.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, anyways.
Cool. That's cool. That's cool.
So you guys need,
Didn't even know
to
that.
go, right?
I've got to
Yeah,
go.
yeah,
but
yeah.
So, well, yeah, it's just, I just want to encourage you to keep thinking about these things. Usually, if we'd had more time, we'd talk about more about Jesus and how God sent him to save humanity and that we have a purpose and that sort of thing. But we don't have time. But thanks for your answers, and if you want to watch this, it's on Firm Foundation NZ. We interviewed tons of people, so you can see the different answers.
Sure. Yeah.
Cool.
Sounds good.
Thank you very much.
Alrighty.
Awesome.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Thank you
Have a
very
good day.
See ya.
Thank you.
Thanks, man.
Have a good
Nice
one.
to meet you.
Take care, guys.
Lovely to meet you. Cheers.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You want to watch